Vancouver over into Alberta to the Edmonton Oilers. This has kind of been a very enigmatic team this year. Was expected to be, toward the top of the division in the preseason. Have really struggled. Fired Jay Woodcraft to begin earlier this month. The last couple of games, they've looked really good on offense. They are they've scored 15 points on the season with a record of 7-12-1. But Luke, I'll let you kind of take it away.
Sure. Yeah. No. I know this one hits home a little bit for you. But just some notable transactions here. The one big addition was acquiring Matthias Ekholm at the deadline. Obviously, that carries through this year. Tyson Berry was a part of that Matthias Ekholm trade. They flipped Puljujarvi to Carolina. And then during the offseason, they traded Kyler Yamamoto to Detroit, who then bought him out and then was signed by Seattle. Yamamoto, one of those depth pieces that kind of fit in with McDavid and Draisaitl. So an interesting move there. And Bukestad and Costin, they were both. Bukestad was a deadline pickup, and then he signed with Arizona. Looking at this numbers this year versus last year, some big disparities here. Kind of like what Ash had referred to before. They're not scoring at the same level that they were last year. Again, they were first in the league at 3.96. And that kind of speaks again to how well the Canucks have been scoring this year at 4.07. So they're down almost a goal per game. They've always played wide open hockey, so there's always the potential to let in more goals. So the defense and goaltending hasn't always been great up in Edmonton, but the interesting stat for me is they're still shooting the puck a lot. They're second in the league. They're second in the league in scoring. The power play is still at 25%. So there's definitely some signs of life there. It just hasn't turned into points for them. So I'll hand it off to y'all and let you discuss.
Want me to start, John?
Do it.
I'm selling before the deadline. I'm going to try and acquire some picks to shore up that defensive core. We got, as you guys will learn from my segment, a lot of really strong defensive options coming out of the draft this year. Sorry, Ash. I'm selling.
Perhaps my hot take of the day, I am going to buy on the Edmonton Oilers. You know what it is? I don't think you can keep those stars down. I think McDavid has not been McDavid up until this point, and he's starting to find a groove. People might not know this, but yeah, exactly. Chris Knobloch was his junior's coach. There's a chemistry there. There's a buy-in there. I think him, Draisaitl, the rest of the offense just kind of leads them the way they had the last couple seasons. The goaltending has been awful. It's been awful in Edmonton for years. I think they're just due for a positive regression because how bad can goaltending truly be over the course of a full season? If I'm Edmonton, I'm going out there. I'm scouring some of these bad teams. I'm finding some defenseman options that they can add to this list, maybe a goalie option if it's available. But I'm buying on the Oilers. I don't think you can keep McDavid down for as long as the full season.
I am buying as well. And it's not just because, I joined on to the Edmonton bandwagon, but because of the fact that last season, when they really turned their year around, there were two critical factors. One, obviously, that they were really good on the power play, but also the last 2 months of the season, Stuart Skinner was actually really good. And the last couple of games, he's actually played very well. In a shutout over Washington on Friday. And then they allowed 2 goals to the Ducks yesterday. But after that, he just shut them out the rest of the game. Last couple of weeks, he's actually looked to be a little bit improved. I do worry about the fact that they have nobody else behind the net or in front of the net. So, if Pickard has to come in, I'm not real sold on that. But also the fact that, I was looking at naturalstattrick.com yesterday, and prior to yesterday's game, they were 29th in the NHL in goals for. In expected goals for, though they were second in the NHL. So they've had a little bit of you could make a case that they have had a little bit of bad puck luck on the season as well, which may have cost Jay Woodcroft his job. But I do like the system that Chris Knobloch brings to them, having more aggressive style. I think it fits having very good offensive players. I think that's kind of a good fit for them. Money Puck still has them as a 56% chance to make the playoffs. So I'm buying that Edmonton is going to make it.
Yep, I'm buying too. Even though I consider the Oilers the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim of the of the NHL, just all that high end talent, but just cannot hit that potential that they have. I'm with just with John here too. You cannot keep these stars down. I mean, McDavid is from another world when it comes to speed, not only with the feet but with the hands. And Draisaitl's a top 5 player as well. It's hard to say that combination will not pull them into the playoffs, regardless of the falling short on defense and goaltending. So yeah, I'm buying on Edmonton.
I'm segueing a little bit here, hijacking the show, but there was a goal last night that Connor made. I didn't even know he had the puck. And it wasn't like there was a big cluster of people. It was, a 3-on-1 or 3-on-2. I thought that he had passed it to the guy on the other side of the ice. Yeah. And next thing I know, they were saying it was a goal, and I'm like, man, I had to watch it back because I didn't even know that he still had the puck. I thought he had made a pass. And he just made it look so easy. I mean, he was just kind of like gliding along. It was just wild to me, like how easy he made that goal look. I wish I would have had it queued up to pull it up here, but I don't.
He's got about 20, 30 highlight reel goals a season at this point. The one that sticks in my mind is the one from 2 years ago against the Rangers at home, where he took down all 5 defenders and the goalie in one play. It was one of the most insane moves I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. If it wasn't McDavid, I would have been really mad. But I was cheering for him. I was like, that was awesome. Like, I don't care that you just sent the game to overtime. I'm so happy for you, man.
Ash, if you haven't seen it, I mean, he starts from the neutral zone and he goes right through all 5. Like they don't even exist. It was so fast. It was
I gotta look.
The best player on planet Earth. Here he is.
He makes plays though that it seems like he's in regular shoes on a basketball court and everybody else is on ice. It's like, how does he change direction like that? Like sometimes I don't know, it just blows me away. So it's been fun to watch, especially since he's come on in the last few games. Because the first, I don't know. I mean, I know we're so early, but I'm going to say the first half of this season, he wasn't looking like that. And the last few games, he's really made some moves where I'm just like, oh my God, what the hell?